All right, how's it going, folks? It's Mike with the DroneOn podcast or the DroneOn Show. It depends how you want to look at it. Today, we have an exciting episode as me and Jason sit down and have a conversation with Taylor from Agri Spray. Obviously, Taylor is one of the largest distributors for agricultural drones, and we just sit down and have a conversation about business growth, about future, and we get into some personal stuff, but it's going to be a good episode, so let's hop right into it as me and Jason sit down, have a talk with Taylor. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I wouldn't really need to do an introduction here, but Taylor from Agri Spray Drones. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Alrighty, so this has no really like where we're going, no objective, right? You and I talked, and you were like, "What's the objective?" And I was like, "Wait, what does that mean, Taylor? What's an objective?"
Yeah, you Googled that, didn't you?
He did. Well, you told me
what is the definition of objective, Mike?
I actually don't know. You told me the definition. It's like we're talking, and then I'd like put in and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a
direction you want to take it, or something you want to promote, or whatever." Okay. That's what
you have a goal.
A goal.
Get out of this.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a synonym for objective, right?
Yeah.
You know what cinnamon means?
Is cinnamon
cinnamon is what you put on toast. Yeah.
I like it. See, I like it already. Yeah. So. I thought that's where the word sounds the same. No, that's a rhyme.
Yeah.
Synonym is the same.
Okay. No. Synonym doesn't sound the same.
It's the same meaning.
Synonym means means the same thing.
Yeah, see, we're already over the top of my 8th grade education, Amish boys. But that's all right. That's all right. We'll just get rolling with it. Let's start with, how did you get into a spray drone?
Well, let's see. It was probably back around 2017, and I started selling ag chemical. So I was a seed dealer, sold seed, and it's all my wife's fault, really. We should blame it on her. So we were having our first child.
Okay.
And she was going to take a year off of school. She taught high school. She was going to take a year off of school and take care of, our child through his first year. Yep. And they allowed her to do that and everything. I was like, okay, I wonder if I can keep her home, right? Make more money, keep her home kind of thing. How can I do that? Because I knew Brody, he has spina bifida, and so he was going to need some more care and everything like that. So if we could do that, that'd be great for him, great for the family. So I started selling chemical, and I just did wholesale direct to farmers. I didn't do any application service myself. And I learned a lot about that industry, that business, about the agronomics behind it, how you recommend products and everything. What I also learned is that I became the middleman between the farmer and the aerial applicator. So a farmer wants fungicide put on. Most of them don't contract directly with the helicopter guys. They work with the guys who sell the chemical. Like that was me. That became me. And the problem was I wasn't that big. I wasn't selling 50,000 acres worth of chemical. I was selling maybe 5, And so it was tough for me to garner their attention.
The aerial applicators.
Aerial applicators. Yeah, right.
Because like an airplane is like, dude, I'm not showing up for 5,000 acres.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, well, we'll be in the area next week, and so if we got the time, we'll come by. But some of these guys were good, but it was never they said
like
Wednesday.
A definite day.
You could never count on
They said Wednesday, and then sometimes it would be, Saturday or whatever. So your acres would change and everything. It was a lot of legwork on my end. So I thought, well, there's got to be a better way. Is there a better way? How else do you do it, right? So that's when drones started kind of coming online, as far as you could see things about them online.
Who introduced you to a drone? Or did you just...
Like a person? I don't think any one person introduced me to a drone. It was just...
the internet.
It was internet. It was Google. Internet. I mean, I just started Googling, and I don't know what came across it.
Because I remember, years ago, the very first time I seen a spray drone was on, a news channel. And it's this little tiny tank on the bottom of, almost looked like a helicopter. Mm-hmm. And they were doing it in California over vineyards. And I was like...
That was Yamaha.
I was like, there's no way that this is going to work.
That was Yamaha R-Max.
No way.
Yeah. That maybe what the first one I saw was Yamaha R-Max.
Yeah, I was when I first seen that, it was so long ago now. I mean, I'm going to say maybe 15 years ago, maybe even more than that. I was like, that'll never work to cover acres. Yeah. So that's interesting. So
Yamaha was doing that back in the 80s in Japan. Is where I started doing that. Yeah, and we're talking real pilots, I mean, that you're flying with the sticks and everything. It's just a radio-controlled RC helicopter, but it's much bigger. They brought it to the U.S., but you can't actually you can't get them. You have to be trained by Yamaha and everything.
Wow.
Do they still make them?
Yeah. I saw one at the World Ag Expo out in California.
No way.
Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Jeez. That doesn't sound efficient.
Yeah, well, compared to what we have now, with these drones, no. No. So I don't know why they still make them.
Yeah. You see on the internet spray drones and you're like, I got to get myself one.
I did research, obviously. Did a lot of research, and I don't want to pull the trigger because I was like, are these things real?
Yeah.
You know, can they actually do, what I want them to do, you know? And they were small. You know, we're talking 2.5 gallon.
Okay.
MG1P was one of the first ones that was kind of available in the U.S.
That was DJI.
That was DJI. Yeah, DJI's MG1P. DJI did not actually design that drone. That was some guy. The MG comes from his name, and then DJI bought his company, and then put it into their portfolio and started from there. So that was one of the first ones in the U.S. And then HSE was doing TTA America. They were one of the first ones to actually really bring spray drones, like the regulations and stuff, like kind of figure that out for the heavy drones. They had a 20-liter back in maybe 2017, 2018, and then I don't know, sometime around then they were the first ones to actually get the 4407 for that unit. But it was, the technology was pretty rough.
Yeah.
We're talking 4 little bitty batteries that were on there, and it would be for research plot is all it was for. Yep. So I talked to those guys, and I talked to some other folks. Rantiza was starting up right around 2019 or so. With the MG1Ps, whole different business model, So I talked to different folks in the industry, but I still didn't want to pull the trigger. But I had a seed customer. He's a guy in his 70s, but the most technically advanced farmer that I knew, was into all the latest trends and everything, always willing to try something new.
Yep. So
I was talking to him about these spray drones. He was like, you know what? You find me one, I'll buy it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
that's you're in.
I can test it without even have to pay any money for it. Perfect. So it was a Foxtech. It was a Thea 140 Foxtech from China, of course, and it had a generator on board. It had a little weed eater engine that
so
powered.
It was a hybrid.
It was a hybrid.
No way.
Yeah, hybrid gas engine. Little 4 motors. It held a little over 2 gallons. Little 1-liter gas tank on it. Screamed like a banshee.
Do you have any videos of it?
I'd have to look way back in the Rolodex. I still have it.
That would be. Oh yeah.
You have the drone.
I still have it.
Would it fly?
It would fly, but I have no reason to fly it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. But it would still fly.
Yeah, we had some issues with it,
Did it go down at all? Ever?
I flipped it. So what the heck happened? Something happened, and we were having the pumps quit working, and they're like, well, I got to do the software stuff. So I plugged it into the thing to look at the firmware, whatever. And I did like a refresh, a reboot. But when I did that, it flipped the like counterclockwise, clockwise, rotation of the motors, So I booted it back up, and it just flipped right over.
No.
Yeah.
So you started with that drone spraying.
Yeah. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Trying. Well, what that did is it proved to me that, okay, it's real. Like it exists. Like you can fly with liquid payload and spray.
Was that all done remote?
No, there was so DJI, they did 2 things when they launched the MG. They had that drone, of course, but then they also had a flight controller for spray drones. The A3 flight controller, I think. So it actually had a DJI flight controller, an A3 flight controller. And I think it was a DJI remote, like an old, looked like an old Phantom remote. Yeah, the flip up screen and everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure anyways, if I remember right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it was autonomous. It was pretty rough, on the autonomy side. But you could map and it would, spray a little
1
boundary.
acre, 2 acres?
Well, we're talking a 2-gallon drone. So
if you did 2-gallon work, you're doing 1 acre.
Yeah, and we did not spray that much with it because it was just a lot of. It didn't work more than it worked. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it was actually like a paperweight almost.
Yeah, it became a paperweight pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so now what are you going to figure out? If that's the first drone that you got?
The second drone we got, I saw a YouTube video of a guy, I don't remember, it was a rice farmer out in California. And he had a guy from China come and bring an XAG P20 to his rice farm. So I was able to find this XAG guy's contact info, got a hold of him, and I got a P20. It was their 10-liter, 2.5-gallon drone. And we got it, and hardware-wise, comparatively to that Foxtech, night and day difference, blown away with the heart. It was the tank plugged in and out, had an RF reader on the tank, so it knew how much volume was in the tank. Because it had a tank filler. The tank filler would fill the tank, had a scale on it, and it would write that payload to the like the RF tag, put it in the drone would know that it had whatever 8 liters in it. Then it had a battery that clipped in and out and everything. It was like what we're used to with modern day spray drones for the most part, just much smaller. So that showed me like what a spray drone could be.
Okay.
The problem was software side, right? Not built for the U.S. market. It took forever to get it set up, with the connecting to the RTK and the phone and this and that, But it worked, and it was good software, really. It was too much. We knew we wouldn't be able to efficiently, move from field to field and everything with it. That was my second drone.
So what's your third drone? When did you actually apply fungicide and get acres done for your customers?
Yeah, so that drone there, the P20, was at the end of, kind of, I guess, middle of 2019, after spray season was when it came in. So we were too late to start spraying there in 2019 with it. But the end of 19, that's whenever DJI announced their T16, the 4-gallon unit, which was, the successor to the MG, but total redesign. Had the tank that plugged in and out, had the battery that clipped in, had a purpose-built charger to charge batteries, somewhat fast. New software, of course. We got a hold of DJI. At that point in time, they were very small in the U.S.
Okay.
Yeah. Got a hold of DJI. We were able to become a distributor with a small commitment, and got some T16s, and actually took that first full year of 2020 figuring it out.
So I'm going to slow this down. So you want it to be a DJI dealer right off the rip. You weren't necessarily getting these products to be a custom app company?
Well, what I learned pretty early on is not everyone, but a lot of the folks that were selling spray drones, there was a few DJI distributors selling DJI agriculture.
Okay.
Right. And some of those folks that I had talked to, they did not know anything about ag.
Okay.
Yeah. They knew drones.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. But did not know anything about ag, how farmers operate.
So they might have been selling DJI products before the agriculture started.
Yeah, that was DJI's first distributors for ag drones was
enterprise dealers.
Yeah, enterprise dealers. There was a couple that were not enterprise dealers to start with, but some of those were enterprise dealers, and it was pretty clear talking to them that they didn't know anything about ag at all.
Okay.
They were, when you ask them about the drone, they were just reading from a spec sheet. A spec sheet.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And that was, okay, well, this call was worthless because I have this information already. I want to know real world feedback.
Exactly.
Right? How does the drone actually work?
Yeah.
What are the pros and cons? How do you use it? What do you not do with it? What can you do with it?
Yep.
All of that. Because I knew farmers, you have to speak farmers' language, right? And so I knew pretty early on that if this thing works and if it can do what I think it can do, then others will want to do it as well.
Okay. And
when it comes to competing against those who don't know ag, right, I would have a pretty big leg up on that.
First one, was your goal to sell drones to the farmers? So they could apply the chemical that you're selling them? Or was your goal to apply the chemical using the drones?
That you were selling to them?
I guess both, really.
Okay.
I mean,
but you didn't have a clear direction at that time? I'm going to build a massive distributorship you have now?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Because I didn't know where the technology was going, I hadn't even used, a T16 really at that time. Yeah,
okay.
But I knew. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just find it interesting because you tell me you became a distributor for this. What made you think I want to be a distributor rather than just buy the equipment, go do the applicating?
Well, because I knew I'd have to support myself.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, yep.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. It's because these guys that you were calling didn't know even how to support it.
I knew I wouldn't be able to get much support.
Okay, gotcha.
It was pretty evident. It seemed pretty evident to me anyways. And so I thought, well, if I have to learn it on my own anyways, right?
There you go.
Then I might as well learn it very deeply on my own and then, benefit, from that. Because I knew that, we could, sell these drones potentially if they did what I thought they would do. Yeah.
To the farmers?
Yeah, to the farmers.
Okay.
Yeah, sell them to the farmers. Yeah.
Okay. You got a drone that starts working. How much custom app did you do yourself?
Not that much during the first, it was 2020. Was it 20? Yeah, 2020 was our first season doing that. And we ran 2 T16s. And I just did local for my seed customers, so I probably did a couple thousand acres that first year. But of course, that was, I was still doing the seed business, so my time was limited.
Okay.
Had a little baby,
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
So you did those 2,000 acres. You probably learned a ton, I'm sure, using the actual equipment.
Learned a ton. Yeah.
And now you're bringing that into a business of selling the equipment because now you've gained knowledge of actually doing it. Mm-hmm. And now you start selling it?
So through that season, I learned that, yeah, you can actually do what I wanted to do, spray 100 acres a day, right? That's kind of what I was thinking. If you can plant 100 acres a day as a farmer, then you can spray 100 acres a day coming fungicide season, and you can, do your own aerial application. I have to rely on somebody else to do it for you, to get your timing, to where it should be pretty accurate, cut some cost out as well, increase yield, have a diversity on who you work with as far as your chemical supplier, all these benefits work for the farmer. So I learned a lot, learned how to use it, and then now I know how to use it. I can teach people how to use it now. So then there at the end of 2020, beginning of 21, really hired first employee, and we'd incorporated Agri Spray Drones in the beginning of 2020 already, but we didn't really start selling until January of 21. And the first was, I had like 5 or 6 seed customers that I built relationships with, of course, for over many years, who trusted me. And so those were my first customers, were those guys that bought those drones.
Do those guys still fly drones?
A couple of them still do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were the first drones you sold were T16s?
No, T20s actually, because the T16 was on its way out. T20 was its successor, largely very much the same. It was kind of like going from a T40 to a T50, right?
Okay.
Largely very much the same frame, motors, but flight controller was a bit different. Pumps were a bit bigger. Radar was a bit better. Software remote was a bit better, kind of a thing. So that was the first one we started selling. It was difficult because I knew nothing about, shipping, international shipping and logistics, and all of that. So I had kind of a local guy, kind of a mentor, had a business where he did a lot of that stuff, kind of helped me out, like who to work with, kind of a thing, and convinced the bank to give me a loan and got some drones coming in.
Okay.
But it was COVID aftermath, really, COVID. So shipping prices were crazy high. Lead times were crazy long.
Wait, so you've only had this company since COVID? Wasn't COVID just like 3 years ago?
COVID's been like 5 years ago.
It seems like just yesterday sometimes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget about it too. I'm like, did that really happen? Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. That was, 2020. So I remember specifically, we were supposed to go to China to get certified by DJI. And we had the trip scheduled for March of 2020. Yeah. And then
everything
shut down. We couldn't go.
Huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you start selling drones. What made you want to do YouTube content?
The YouTube thing, we started a bit with the T20, but not much, because a lot of that was just a lot of traveling, firsthand demos, kind of a thing, and still figuring it out, really, because we didn't know how to support customers. We didn't know. We had to figure all that out, right? So that first year, 2021, was like, okay, how do we actually make this successful to where our customers are successful, right? So that we can make sure we structure this. And most of that's just, you just work your butt off, is what that really boils down to.
Yep.
Yeah. The T30 was launched end of 2021, and we had a lot of momentum, going into that. And that's whenever we started working a lot closely with FAA and the, approvals and all that kind of stuff, So I got approved for the T30 end of 21. I think that was my first YouTube video.
Okay.
So I was we were pumped, super pumped. We were the second one to get approval right after Rantizo, I'm pretty sure. But it's within the same week. And so I'm like, hey, let's go shoot a video of this because I'm stoked. So Kit, our operations guy, our COO now, he was working for me as a mechanic, basically fixing drones. But he was pretty good with the camera. So I was like, hey, let's go shoot a video, like a hype video kind of thing. We're approved, whatnot. We can help you guys get certified, all that kind of stuff, So we did that. And then I started realizing that, when you look I taught myself how to do CAD, how to run CNC machines, how to do 3D printing, all online, right? All through YouTube and, forums and whatnot. And when you look for spray drones, none of that existed, right? There was no information. There was promo videos, was all.
Yeah.
Promo videos didn't tell you what you wanted to know, right? So we just went to the field and started shooting. I think the first real video, main video we did was on the T30, just demo, right?
Yep.
We did hundreds of demos, prior to that, just all the time we were doing demos. So I knew.
But just not on YouTube.
Just not on YouTube, just in person. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like, what? I mean, we can't get to everybody. More people want to see this stuff. So let's just make a demo video.
Yep.
How does this thing work? How does the battery work? How does the software work? How does it fly? All of that stuff, And so we just did a single shot, just running the drone.
How'd that video do for you?
Really good. Yeah, it picked up really quickly. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the metrics
Oh.
off the top of my head, but I mean, we got 500,000 views pretty quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much of your success would you say was because of YouTube algorithm?
Yeah. Well, COVID helped
Yep.
because a lot of people staying home,
Yep.
right? Just
Yep.
scrolling,
Yep.
right? So COVID helped with the YouTube rise, the YouTube channel for sure, and it gave wind to our sales. So know that, hey, people want this,
Yep.
right? People want this information.
Yep.
Let's do more of it. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, YouTube's been a really big part of our success, but it's more so like the way that we do our videos. We just want, people just want to see how it works.
Yep.
The raw,
Yep.
the details of here and there. They want to know from a farmer's perspective also.
How many drones did you have to sell before you were like, okay, I'm not selling seed anymore?
Yeah. Let's see. I sold the seed business in the end of 23. That was
Okay, so it was your business. You weren't working for somebody?
yeah,
Okay.
it was my business, and I knew this might happen. Well, again, I'll blame it on my wife too. But
She might be listening.
She might be. Well, I made a promise to her whenever we got married. She did not want to live in Centralia, Missouri. She wanted to live back home in Butler,
Okay.
3 hours away, right after college, anyways. And so
Why did she not want to live wherever you were?
Oh, because she did after we got married. Yeah, but she made a slight comment, because we were dating in college, we were engaged and like that. And she was like, one day she was like, I'm planning on going back home after college. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, there's nothing tying me down here, I was like, I get it. I understand it.
So
now.
the scenery is not nice there? Is it flat?
No, it's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's just further away from family.
Oh, okay.
Family.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little bit close to family.
That's cool.
Yeah, which I would like to as well. But I had an opportunity, right, to stay, there just north of where I went to college and take over a seed business. And so I was like, hey, let's give this a go, right? And I told her 5 years. I was like, let's do this for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Yep.
And then we'll move back.
That's cool.
So it was always a plan to move back home, be back on the family farm, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted the same thing she did, but she, just not as deeply, or as quickly, I guess.
Yeah.
So I told her 5 years, and we were approaching 10, and
Oh, geez.
yeah, had not, but we were growing the seed business,
Yeah.
So it's like things were working well for us. We're developing a community. But
Did you bring it up at all at any time? Like Taylor, it's been 5.5 years now.
She never really brought it up. No.
Sounds like a good lady.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. Yeah. But she didn't, as we kept investing, into the seed business, and that tied us down more and more there,
Yeah.
and so like some of that she didn't like so much, but we grew to like, the area and the
Do you still live there?
Nope. We moved. So anyways, yeah. Thank you for getting back on track. I knew that, I wanted to move back home. You can't move a seed business. The customers, the land, right, is
okay.
what, is there. So you can't move a seed business. And I knew I wasn't going to work full time on the farm, so I didn't really want to work for, someone at being your own boss. I kind of like that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So wanted to have a business that could be, I could move potentially. Not one that's specific to this just one area, right? So I could be in this radius of places. And so that's where, that's kind of what started the drone sales side, or interest in doing that, was I thought I could, potentially move and make my promise good to my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but you didn't tell me how many drones you had to sell before.
Yeah, right, getting there.
That's all right.
Yeah. So probably, let's see, I don't know, I mean, we at that point in time,
But basically, it had to hit a certain
Yeah.
dollar amount before it made sense.
not only that, but I mean, I had an obligation. I developed relationships with my seed customers,
Yeah.
you know, and I wanted to make sure they had someone that could take my place, that could take care of them well, you know, and so you had to find that person too.
Yeah.
So we found that person. It took a couple of years,
Okay.
but I found that person. She was great.
So you weren't necessarily selling a business just for a cash out. It was
No.
like, I'll sell this business if somebody's going to take care of my customer.
Exactly.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So found her. She's great agronomist, very hard worker. And, you know, so basically 2 years, she worked for the business for 2 years. And then I was like, all right, well, stars are aligning right now and it's time.
Did you have employees in that business?
Just her.
Just her.
Yeah, well, I had part-timers, you know,
Okay.
part-timers. But it was pretty, you know, seasonal work kind of thing, you know. So just part-timers. She was the first full-timer.
Okay. And so when did you move? How
Yeah,
many?
so we sold the business end of 2023, I guess it was.
Okay.
Now I forget, was it 22? Maybe it was 22. I don't know.
COVID.
Anyways.
During COVID? Did you move during COVID?
Nah,
Just
no,
think
no.
of COVID years.
No. Well, I don't know. Was 22 COVID? When did
No, it
COVID
was like-
officially
so
end?
March 20th or March of 20 was when the U.S. started shutting stuff down.
Yeah.
But then when did
And
it end?
then
I think
dude, it was like a year and a half. I think.
Yeah, I
it was
think
like
it
2
ended
years.
sometime in December of not
21.
that year.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it was 21.
I think you're right.
I think.
Yeah.
And like COVID came in and then it was done at December. Like it had a specific day that it was just like,
It's like,
it's
okay,
gonna be
no
done.
more.
You remember? No, they literally said on this day we're going to stop doing restrictions. Wait, so COVID, it knows at on December 4th at 12 o'clock we got to get out.
No
Yeah,
longer
it was
effective.
done. Yeah, it was done.
Oh, geez. There's probably not people listening that don't know what we're talking about, but maybe in 10, 15 years from now, you know, when we're older and there's young generations listening to this podcast, they're going to be like, AI, what is COVID?
Oh, they'll study it in school.
Oh yeah,
you
that
think so?
shit will
For
make
sure.
history, dude.
It changed
Oh, yeah.
the land. I mean, it changed the global economic, social,
It changed
politics, everything.
Why do you think it was a thing? Do you think it was political or?
Is it this kind of podcast?
Oh,
Mike?
dude, this is whatever we want to talk about.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of politics behind it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
If they did not do it on purpose, they definitely used it
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. In some countries more than other countries,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It
was
definitely shifted the whole,
Yeah.
like how things are done, just from a sales standpoint. I
yeah.
feel.
Well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, how business is done shifted immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people benefited from it. A lot of people did not benefit from it. So,
Okay, so we figured out that you moved probably right after COVID was done.
oh no, we just moved last year.
Oh,
Yeah, so we stuck around in Centralia because we also we were, you know, Agri Spray Drones was expanding. We moved 3 times in 3 years.
you did.
Yeah.
Agri Spray. So like different zip codes, or just a different building.
just different buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a different zip code.
Yep.
So yeah, moved out of the. We were in the seed shop, you know. So we had seed here, drones there, you know, kind of
Okay.
thing. And we had at one point in time, in the seed shop, I had you know, seed, you know, chemical, drones, drone fixing part. And then we were building these mobility devices, our farm mobility, you know, project we do. We were building those there too, so it was getting pretty crammed in that building.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You didn't expect the growth to grow this rapidly, I assume.
I did. Oh, I knew. I mean, I knew this technology would be revolutionary, right?
Okay.
I mean, think about it just from a concept. It's like, okay, farmers, you know, traditionally, as you know, time has gone on, have wanted to do more and more on the farm themselves. You know, there's kind of the service aspect there. You hire some things done, but as farmers grow, they want to bring those services back onto the farm. And I was witnessing this firsthand
Okay.
with the farmers that I'd worked with.
Yeah.
Farmers were growing in size, and instead of relying on the custom guy to come spray everything to the fertilizer, they were putting in their own fertilizer plants. They were getting their own ground rigs and everything, doing that
Okay.
kind of, just better timing, better
Yeah.
control of how things
Yeah.
are done. You know, it's your farms. You're going to take care of it better than someone else.
Yep.
Well, what about aerial application?
Yeah.
Name a farmer who has their own airplane. There's very few.
Very few.
Very
Unless
few.
they're really, really big.
Yeah, and we're talking. I mean, we're talking. A lot of farmers have their own airplane, but what farmer has their own crop
plane.
duster plane?
Yep.
Yeah, and their own pilot. To do that. Very, very few. It's just not attainable. It doesn't make any sense unless they have a business offering the service.
Yep.
Right.
And here you have a piece of technology that's very affordable.
Yep.
Can be run by anybody, and now they can do their own application.
And it does a really good job.
And does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a better job than what they're used to. So I knew just that as a concept alone would be revolutionary. Yeah.
And so you prep yourself for growth, or you just like
not at all.
We'll just
not at all.
Yeah, well, just whatever happens.
Not at all.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I would say that's kind of how we were here at NuWay Ag and also drone deer recovery. It's like, right, I just started something kind of like you did, and on the drone deer recovery side, doing thermal drone stuff. I never knew that my shop wouldn't be big enough. I'm like, my shop is big, and we're having drones in there, and in no time, we move. Now we got to move again. It's like, how often are we going to have to move this thing?
Yeah.
So growth, you were like, oh, we're just selling drones, and then next thing you had to order more drones, and you didn't have space, and now you're like,
well, you were probably sitting so close to the technology that taking a step back and looking at the big picture, wasn't really in your view.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
You were just using the technology, right? So, yeah, that's exactly how we were on the spray drone side.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you go buy a building right away, or?
Yeah, so built a shop right next to my house. My commute was great then. Just sidewalk. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was awesome. But
how big was the shop that you built?
It was 60 by 80, I think.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, if you say 40, that was my shop.
Yeah.
A 60 by 40. Yep.
Yeah.
But you built that specifically just to hold drones?
For spray drones. Yeah.
And you were like, okay, this is going to last me for a while.
Actually, no.
Okay.
Yeah. So after I built that, I remember I told Kit, our CEO now, I told Kit that we're going to be moving in a year, or less than a year. So as soon as we moved in, we were moving stuff in.
Yep.
I told him we were moving.
That's so crazy. I just did that to Kevin. We walked in. He's like, dude, look how big it is. I was like, Kevin, we'll be out of here in a year.
Yeah.
And we're not even in it a year. It's like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Did you guys build another one, or you buy it?
We bought one. There was one, Boonville, where we're at now, actually. Okay. Boonville. We moved in there in 23, spring of 23.
How big is that shop?
It's 30,000 square foot. Yeah.
The whole building that's with the offices?
Yeah. So basically the shop part's probably about 23,000.
Okay.
And then offices, there's 2 floors there.
Yep.
So much office space.
How soon are you adding to that?
Well, we're looking for another space now. Either to add on, or there's another building in town there.
Okay, nice. But you have a good bit of land there. Couldn't you just add on to it? Or
we could add on to it, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking you might need to move to a bigger location, easier shipping, this or that? Or
no, shipping's fine out of there.
Okay.
What we're looking into is, as this industry grows, the geopolitical climate that we're, looking at now this year, especially.
Yep.
We all know that some level of U.S. manufacturing has to take place in the near future, and so that's kind of what we're looking at, a space where we could do that, right? Yeah.
Would you manufacture in Boonville, or would you manufacture in another state or town?
Well, I mean, we're looking at all options right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's on the table at this point.
Are there? I mean, I don't know. I never looked at manufacturing. There's probably certain areas that are better because there's more people and it's already kind of set up.
Yeah, there's more support in certain areas. Yeah, so we're looking at those areas. But then our teams in Boonville, and there's the college is just right down the road there, and they have a pretty good engineering department too. So,
okay.
Yeah. There's several
is
factors
most of your
playing.
team from Boonville? Because you live a couple hours away, don't you?
I do now.
Yeah.
My commute is not so great now.
Oh,
and that's why you're getting your pilot's license?
I was going to say, that's why you're getting your pilot's license.
Starting to fly, yeah.
Get yourself a little helicopter and just...
Dude, did you see the Jetson drone?
Was that the one? I think they were at the Farm Progress. Was that the one at the Farm Progress show?
I don't know. It wasn't
There's
there.
a couple of
That's
them.
pretty cool.
It's a for real drone for you to sit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't fly that far though, can you?
I think it's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minute
minutes,
flight time, like 40
20
mile
minutes
an hour.
at 40 mile an hour.
Yeah, so
Probably wouldn't make it there.
I would not make it
No.
there. No.
You need yourself
Another year or so.
Yeah.
Robertson 22 or something.
Yeah. Well, Kit's he's a helicopter pilot. That's what he went to school for, and
Did he come out of the military or something?
Yeah, he was in the Army, and then he went to studied up. He was up in North Dakota, and he studied some drones, and of course, and helicopters, kind of aviation. I don't know what his major is exactly, but he became a helicopter pilot, and he can train people. He's got to get he's got to get some more hours, and kind of whatnot, get recurrence.
Yeah, like recurrent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but he could train people.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
but so did he do helicopter flying as a like a professional career?
No.
Okay.
Right out of college, straight to spray drones.
For real?
Yeah. Well, basically, yeah.
How'd you get to know him?
Well, he went to high school in Centralia.
Okay, so you guys knew each other.
He knew Tanner. Tanner's our sales guy now. Tanner was working for me at the time. He knew Tanner. Tanner knew him. They got in touch. And maybe Tanner told him, "Hey, this drone thing. I know we want to do a drone." He was wanting to do a drone business, like scouting and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I told him, "No, don't do that. Come work for me instead."
That is cool.
Oh, sounds good.
So how many people do you have on your team now?
There's we're 34, I think now.
Wow.
Wow.
All working at that location, or some remote?
No, they're scattered out, and there's some work from home half the time, and then I think we probably have 12 and 10 in the office on a daily basis.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many drones do you think you've sold from the time you started selling a drone to now?
To today, probably 3,500.
Okay.
I'd say somewhere around there. Yeah.
And it would probably be a lot more than that if we would have never been restricted on product.
Holy moly, you ain't kidding.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing with you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a podcast with the guy that's here from Ukraine. You should talk with that guy.
Yeah.
Dude, it is nuts. And you can listen to the podcast, but he has stats. And he is telling us the growth that it will happen. Not if, it will. Based on all these other countries that it's already happened to, using that data with acres, looking at acres here, and the growth they had, and what he thinks we'll do here. How many drones do you think will sell in America? Meaning every year till we hit,
what's the capacity?
If it was unrestricted.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the capacity? How many total drones, right?
Yeah.
Can the U.S. fit, basically? That's what you're asking? Oh, gosh. I haven't really done the math on this. We're probably looking, we look at Brazil and China, right? Last year in China, I think there was, 60,000 or so or more drones sold in 1 year.
Yep,
right?
1 year.
That's
So his numbers are for real. Yeah. And this guy is a credible guy. Yeah. He works for the UN as well on a salary, helping get this data for UA operations. He is saying that when we hit peak, the amount of acres here will support 128,000 drones needing to be sold every year.
Wow.
Is there
every year?
That's what he's saying.
Really?
Is that an opportunity?
Is it every year for a couple years?
Yeah.
Or going forward?
Every year for a few years, and then there's going to be new technology that's going to be coming forward as well. Yeah. Because let's face it, it's technology, and it's going to be kind of outdated because things will get better. Yeah. That's what he's saying, right? Will it do that constantly? We can't even do that right now if we wanted to.
There's no way possible.
Yeah, that's why you're saying that manufacturing needs to happen here, because trying to import all that stuff with the restrictions that we have already, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So
we can't do it here though. We don't have the infrastructure to make 100,000 drones a year.
Yeah. But if all China import stuff would stop, we'd need a billionaire to pick it up to let's push this because the whole industry.
Have you had Elon on the podcast yet?
Dude, we're gonna talk to him. We're gonna talk to him. But when he said that, based on the actual stats that other countries have done, it's like, dude,
that's unbelievable.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
Like what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the Brazilian market, in my opinion, is probably closest to like the U.S. market in terms of like unrestricted growth. If we were to have unrestricted growth, because a lot of the manufacturers in China have put more resources into that market here over the past, 3 years or so, and the growth there is wild compared to the growth here.
Did you talk to Steve Lee? He said the growth here at the conference was a 70% increase. He, I forget his name, from Ukraine, said that if that is accurate, just on the attendance here, that the actual growth of drones being sold should equal about 70%. I think it's probably right that right, we're probably not going to hit 70% forever, but it'll be doing that and Xing itself for the next 5 years, 10 years is my guess.
Yeah.
The amount of drones that is, if you just stop and think about that, I mean, come on, guys.
Crazy.
Yeah, if people are
If you have sold 3,500 drones and you're like the biggest guy doing it,
do you think
just
somebody
unreal.
has sold more drones than you?
I don't know. Maybe, but
you're definitely one of the biggest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 128,000 drones. That is just
so think about this.
mind-blowing.
I don't know if you use AI or not, but you should. You have an Android, so you can't get it right now. Grok.
Oh, come on.
Grok 3. Come on, give me. So Grok 3, you can't get it on Android right now. But if you ask it, with all the data available, how many registered drones, right? We know there's probably drones out there that are not registered. There's only 6,900 registered ag drones.
Yeah.
But we haven't even hit 10,000. Like the growth is just going to freak us out.
Yeah.
But it's going to be can we get it in?
Right. Yeah. Supply is going to be the restricting factor for sure.
All the time.
Yeah.
For how long do you think? Forever?
Well, I would say probably so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because of the
demand is
government?
going to outstrip supply?
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of good.
It's a good thing,
a good business,
but it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just can't. It stinks so much when somebody wants to come buy a drone from you and you don't have it.
Yeah. You think, these drones are getting more efficient though. So maybe some of these models aren't accurate, right?
Dude, he is pretty convinced on his numbers.
Is he?
I'm not saying that it's.
Well, yeah,
I'm not saying
it.
that it's like a
Let's say it's
be-all.
half. Let's say it's half that. It's still insane.
Oh yeah, still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
even a quarter of that is insane.
Yeah, that is true. So 128,000, half of that. I mean, we're talking still over 60,000.
Well, and there'll be a point in time. These drones just make so much sense on the farm.
Give me a reason why. Why does it make so much sense, Taylor?
Well,
for the people that are listening, that they're like, well,
sure.
I don't understand. Like,
yeah. So why does a drone make sense why does it make sense for a farmer to have a drone on the farm, right? Well, when you look at value in use, farms are businesses, right?
Yep.
So that one factor is value in use and ROI, right? And when you're talking about, you can take a spray drone that costs you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, right? Let's just say, and you know that you can recoup as a farmer probably 10 with a yield increase, better timing, $15 an acre, most likely. How many acres does that take to repay that investment? Less than 5,000 acres, right? How quickly you can get that done? A lot of farmers they're farming pretty close to that 2,000-3,000 acres. You're talking less than 2 years, and if you're spraying multiple passes,
dude, that's crazy. You bring this up because I'm going to talk about him again. He has these stats and proof based on the data that he has already. And the numbers are almost matching up exactly what you're saying. He is saying that the farmer, for his ROI, and to throw the drone away, would need to cover 10,000 acres.
Yeah.
And the drone made sense buying it to gain that and then be done with it after 10,000 acres.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Surely there's no other piece of equipment that you can buy on the farm that does that.
Very few. Yeah. I mean, no traditional equipment. There's no like tractor or combine or traditional sprayer or whatever. There are other like seed treaters. Farmers should get their own seed treater.
What does that do?
Treats soybeans. You apply like fungicide, insecticide, like biological components, coat the beans in that. And that's a custom service. Done by people like I used to do that as a dealer of seed.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I know what I charged, to do that. And it's like farmers can save a lot of money if they do it themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. And they can choose what products they use as well. And more farmers are doing that. There's more farmers now as farmers get bigger. It's like that's a piece of equipment that can actually pay itself off pretty like about the same time frame as a drone, really. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
But, yeah. There's other little pieces of equipment, like things here and there, a lot of precision ag technology that can pay itself off pretty quickly too.
All right.
Yeah.
So I kind of cut you off when you were giving us the acres and what the drone costs and getting in there. Something else, why they should buy the drone?
Well, yeah, it's an application technology that it's a time machine is what it is that gives them time. They don't have to worry about what the ground conditions are, which is a time factor. Whenever they want to go out there and apply product at the right timing, which is based on the growth stage of the crop, they can do it. And so that is a time factor. Not have to rely on the right time to apply it with the ground conditions.
So what you're saying? Have you ever heard that a drone can provide a higher quality of product?
Of application, yes.
Product of an actual crop.
Oh, you mean okay? Yeah, higher quality. Of commodity.
Crop. Like
right.
I never thought about this, and it's because they can apply exactly when it needs to be applied. And he was talking about blueberries, like. There's a specific window, and if they can apply it, then the whole quality of that fruit is actually better.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's huge.
I mean, farmers got to think about this. So all they need to do is be educated that this is available, and it's not that hard to use.
Yep.
They think of new technology, and they're like, oh, gosh, I can't do that. No, like you actually can do that.
Yeah, anybody can do it. But there again, the biggest challenge that has always faced like farmers getting into it, barriers to entry, right? We look at barriers to entry. Why aren't more farmers doing it? Of course, there's a supply thing. We already talked about that, but really it's more so there's regulations, right, involved. FAA regulations are,
brutal.
Yeah,
just to be honest, it's just brutal. Like
they are brutal. And for someone doing their own property, right? It should not be that hard.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
No, you should have at least like a private property thing or something.
Waiver. Yeah. It's a private property.
It's your own farm or something.
I
some
agree.
type of waiver.
What do you think it should be? You own your own farm. What regs should you have to follow to?
I don't know if the FAA is the right one to regulate it on the federal level, right? I mean, on the state level in Missouri, if you're a private applicator, it's an incredibly easy license to get.
Yeah.
You go like through the extension office basically, and you don't actually have to take a test. You have to be educated. You have to sit through a class. And that's it.
Dude.
And so that's kind of what it should be. That's the problem too with the FAA is like there's no actual training or education to get your licensing.
Yep.
I mean, your 107 is the closest thing you got, but that's nothing
It's just
to the
a bunch
spray
of
drones.
bullshit paperwork.
Yep.
Yeah. And
that's exactly what I told the FAA. I said, you give me this paperwork. And okay, so when I want to go get a pilot's license like you're trying to get right now, you will learn everything. You will be coached. You will be taught. Here, it's like, here it is. Teach yourself, figure it out.
Yeah.
How's this make any sense?
And you're not allowed to be taught by someone.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Tell them why. Why can't you teach me how to fly my drone?
Well, it's all in the conditions, limitations, and whatnot of your 137 and 4.07.
So I want to buy a drone from you.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it. Like, Taylor, can you teach me how to fly my drone?
I am not a certified flight instructor, so.
But can you become a certified flight instructor for drones? Not a thing, right?
No.
Not a thing.
No.
Like, what?
Yeah. No, it's not a thing. So no one is allowed to teach you how to fly a drone.
But you can do the paperwork that allows you to do it, right?
Exactly.
Allows
So stupid.
you to teach yourself that knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. YouTube. You learn YouTube.
Sorry, I got sidetracked here.
Yeah.
It needs to be talked about.
It does need to be talked about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so that's where I don't know if the FAA is the right one to regulate really any of the spray drones because they don't know that much about the actual, how they operate, how these drones operate.
And the things are 10 feet off the ground most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. You're out of
it's not
airspace like all 100% of the time, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think it makes sense on the FAA side. It should be a whole separate organization, right? It should be maybe it's something that this industry itself, all of us in the industry actually create this organization, right? That oversees the, training and the rules and the regs and whatnot and make it make sense, allow Mike to go out there and train somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh, it's the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, if the FAA wants to talk about safety, that they're all about safety, nothing about what they're trying to tell us right now sounds safe at all.
Yeah.
Like, give John a drone, take it out. You got this paper. You're allowed to do it on your.
You're allowed to teach yourself.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Yeah.
What,
yeah, it would be very nice if it would be out of the FAA.
How did we get
hands,
here?
for sure.
I'm trying to think. It was based all on how hard and the growth.
Yeah, why aren't more farmers doing it? And regulations is a big piece of that puzzle.
So do you think that more will more drones be sold to farmers or custom app guys?
Well, at first I thought that every farmer's going to have a drone because we were selling to farmers, right? And we were marketing to farmers, whatnot. But then I learned that actually early on it shifted and it was more custom applicators, young guys, starting a business, just like you did, starting an application service. That became the biggest customer base. Still is, I think, but there are more and more farmers doing it themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. There's more and more farmers. So I keep referring back to Ukraine. I asked him that question, and he was like, no, you will always sell more drones to service providers, and service providers will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then there will be the biggest service providers, like branches having here and there. And I was like, interesting. He's like, yeah, he sold so many drones in Ukraine, and it was just service provider gets bigger, adds a bigger fleet. Yeah. He had one business that had 112 drones that would provide service.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot when I had 6 to 8.
It's a lot of people to manage.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But
that's why he's got those robots. Swap batteries.
Dude, wouldn't that be cool?
That
would be
cool. The little dude walks out there.
Gosh.
We might have that. Like, Elon sends us a robot. He goes up the NuWay trailer. Can you imagine that?
Oh my
we
gosh.
laugh.
Dude, it could be a thing.
Yeah, why not?
Why couldn't it?
Should be a thing.
If it can carry my groceries into my house, it should be able to carry a battery.
The problem is you're going to get frustrated because it's going to be too slow.
It'll learn
at it.
Dang robot.
It'll learn how to go faster. Or I'll blend it up with the drone itself.
Well, I mean, that is part of it too. I mean, it does, so spray drones, they take a lot of labor, right? Which is an opportunity, right? It's creating jobs, creating businesses, creating jobs. It's a great thing for agriculture in general and for rural Americans in general. But on the farm, you get a drone and you're not saving yourself time in most cases, right? You are creating an additional job on the farm.
Yep.
And so some farmers, don't necessarily realize that. They're used to kind of having some time off there in July, and now all of a sudden they don't, right? And then they're also, they're not going out there spraying thousands of acres using these drones all the time, so they're not the most adept.
They're not the most efficient.
Understanding how the drone works, and they might have more problems than other guys might have because every year they got to reel or teach themselves.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we see. There are farmers that think they want to do it, and sometimes it lasts a year, and they're like, it's not for me. I'll hire Mike to do it.
How long do you think it'll be until it's a really good used drone market?
Used drone market's developing right now. This is kind of the first, real year you see a lot of used drones out there. I feel like last year there was some for sure too. It's going to be a while yet because the technology is not stable as far as like where's it going to end? Like where's it going to kind of like plateau at? Right? That we haven't seen that yet. So like it's a guessing game as far as what your used drone is worth. We're seeing some stability start to take place there, but still much kind of a guessing game. There's, one of our guys, account managers for us. He loves auctions. He's an auctioneer. Yeah. And so he's like, there needs to be an auction, used drone auction where you can just be like, what, I'm done with this thing. I just want to get rid of it. I really don't care how much I get out of it, as long as I get, 30%, 40% of the value out of it. Just make it easy and just send it out there, And so he started Flown Drones. It's an auction service. Yeah. It hasn't launched yet, but he started that. He's like, I think we can get rid of a lot of drones for people.
I just feel like we're going to get, yes, there's going to be a time for a used drone market, but I believe that the technology will get so good that by the time that it's used, it's so used that it's like almost not even worth buying it to get into it.
It's better. You're better off keeping it because you're not going to make any money on it. So you might as well keep it for a spare or something.
And I think it'll get to the point. I don't know this for sure, but I'm thinking of computers. So if you have a computer and it's working, but like everything like software gets rewritten, it'll only work on certain hardware that is of certain age. You know what I mean? So if you get too old of a MacBook and you try to download this certain software, it won't run on that hardware.
Yeah, I get it.
And I could see the drones being the same thing. That the software will get better. The features will get better. You won't be able to get all those features if you're running an old system.
That's kind of like a lot of precision ag technology. I mean, there's a ton of farmers that have, a couple of old ag leader light bar guidance systems just sitting in a desk, in a drawer in their shop, because it's not worth anything. Nobody wants it. They've got systems that cost less and actually drive the tractor for you now, so.
Yeah. Okay. Drive tractors. So Agri Spray releases, we're going to sell an Autosteer system. Why do that if you're into drones?
It's precision ag, right? I mean, this is all precision ag. And, what we found is that these drones, they're not just going to the biggest farmers out there, right? They're going to a lot of different farmers of all sizes. I mean, guys that are farming a couple hundred acres, right, are getting some drones. They're doing their own work. They're doing some custom work too. And so we kind of learned some needs of, some farmers of all different sizes, and one of the needs of, farmers who are farming very little, right, is they, don't have the capital or the acreage, the scale, to invest in some of this more expensive, ag technology, precision, ag technology, Autosteer. And there's it helps you as a farmer be more efficient with your time in the field.
But the guy still has to sit in the tractor.
Yes, the guy still has to sit in the tractor. Yeah, but you can take an old tractor.
He's gonna fall asleep.
Have you ever operated a Autosteer on like a tractor or anything?
I've never really. Yeah. I've never driven a tractor to do any field work. When we did field work, I grew up Amish, so we had like horses in the plow or something.
That's Autosteer, isn't it?
Until it's not.
They would steer to wherever.
You just hang the carrot in front of his head, and it goes in a straight line.
Yep. No. So no, I've never. Why? Why do you say that? Is it?
Well, because that can actually happen, falling asleep, in the tractor.
So does it make the turns and stuff?
It can make the turns for you. There's a lot of different stuff it can do. So these systems, first off, it's kind of like drones, like a lot of guys, they just want a drone to go spray back and forth on fungicide on corn, right? But you can do a lot of different stuff with these drones. You can do a lot of different types of application, a lot of different, methods of, control and everything. So that's the same thing with Autosteer. Most guys just want Autosteer to just drive in a straight line, back and forth. That way they're not having to like guess, like on their tillage equipment, a lot of tillage equipment, like you don't, know. You kind of like gauge it based on, okay, I can see I'm kind of overlapping by a foot, and my corner post on my tractor is kind of lined up with that, that part of my last pass. So if I'm keep it kind of like right there, and you kind of like watch that, that's how you do it.
Dude, didn't even think about it.
Yeah. So with Autosteer, you can reduce inefficiencies. So instead of overlapping, maybe you overlap a 2 foot or 3 foot here, 1 foot here. Maybe you skip some here. You're dead on every time, right? And so you reduce a lot of inefficiency on some of your your tillage equipment, your fertilizer equipment, where maybe it's not the newest and latest and greatest equipment, but you still want it to have Autosteer.
Yep.
That's where this system, it's very affordable, easy to install. You can do it yourself. Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I never even thought about Autosteer in a tractor because I'm not a farmer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get down this rabbit hole. You asked me work-life balance.
Yeah.
Dude, because you work a lot too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I do.
Dude, I'm working all the time, right? We all have families. We're sitting in Alabama right now. I have a wife and 2 children. You have how many children do you have?
3.
3 children. And
I've
Jay
got 3.
has 3 children.
Yeah.
So it's like me and Jay back home. I don't know, I don't see you every day, but I can imagine that you work about as much as I do. Maybe not. We talked about it a little bit, but it's like I'm always working. How do you balance that?
I mean, things have changed over the past couple of years for sure. We moved back home. I'm away from the shop, every single day.
So that helped.
That helped.
Okay.
Removing myself from the shop and kind of like force myself to rely on others, trust others.
Trust others.
Trust
That is
Jay.
difficult.
Jay, come on, dude.
Oh, dude.
You just got to do it. I'm telling
I know.
you. Give them words
can't
of
let
wisdom.
go?
Oh, my God.
Give them words of wisdom.
I
Taylor.
just feel like, I don't know. I do not like to let people down.
Yeah.
So, and
We don't like doing it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a hard time letting go for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. 100% I get it. Yeah. It was tough for a long time. I still find myself I'm kind of shaking. I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something. Something's going on. I'm not a part of. Something's not going right.
Or it's not going fast enough.
Yeah.
That's my freaking
can we
problem too.
just let me show you how to do this.
Let me just do it. Let me do it because I can do it faster.
Yeah. So take a deep breath. That helps. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we want to make things go fast, and we should, right? We want to help the customers.
Yeah.
But doggone it, not all of this was made in 30 seconds.
No.
So
Yeah.
letting go. So work-life balance.
Right.
Leaving the shop, that helped.
Yeah. Leaving the shop helped with myself, relying on others, making sure that people had authority to make decisions that need to be made.
That's
right?
good.
And had my blessing, right? You can, this, right? I'm still in confidence, right?
Okay.
Which, has been, a growth for everybody. I think it's been great.
How did you train yourself to not pick up the phone? Because let's be real, that sucker doesn't care. It's ringing at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I remember, when we were getting into this thing, I was on the phone 75% of my life, basically was on the phone.
Landon over here, producer, he was saying, "Oh, look, Jay's on his phone again."
Yeah.
Every time we're going out, it's just nonstop.
It is.
But you
And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were on your phone for 75% of the time. How'd you figure out?
Well, I made a commitment. I said it out loud. I told my wife too. I said, this time next year, I'm going to reduce the time I'm on the phone by 50%, because I knew I can't be on the phone.
Yeah.
Right. And do things that need done. Right. So it was, putting systems and processes in place, making sure that people had the right information, to, help our customers.
Yep.
Right. Hiring more people. Was a big part of it. Trusting them to, give the right information, and get the job done. I don't know. I mean, it's just been a natural progression kind of thing. Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was like a light switch. Okay. On Monday, I'm just not answering my phone on, if it's 7 o'clock, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of time to get through.
It took quite a bit of time to get through it. We set up, a lot of the calls were support, questions, right?
And
Support.
that's why I feel for Jay. It's like that's part of his role was to get that going, but it's like we can trust somebody to just figure it out, just like we figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So our tech department kind of became developed, through that, to take those support calls. And then they became better than I was, as far as making sure that, from a start to finish, opening the ticket basically to closing the ticket was a better process for the customer.
That's cool. Like once you get team members that want to build a system better than what, like I have myself, it's like, okay, we're on the right track.
Yeah.
That's cool. So would your wife say that your work-life balance is right there? Like
I don't think so.
No. Okay, so what needs to change?
I think, it's definitely better, but I'm still gone, away from home at night, usually 2 nights a week, every week.
So you
Why is
go
that?
stay at the shop?
Yeah, because I can't help myself. I can't stay away for a long extended period of time.
What are you doing then at the shop?
But just, everybody comes in, right? Everybody who's somewhat local anyways comes in on those 2 days. So I make sure to be present. I make sure to, be the guy to unblock those who have questions about certain things, certain directions, make sure we're moving in the same direction in unison all as one. And then fly drones, right? It's been doing a lot lately, fly drones, test drones, which has been great. I haven't got to do that like very much for the past, year and a half really. But now I get to do it a lot more because we got more team members. And,
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny, me and him went out, was it last week? First time in a long time to do an actual spray or a spread job.
Yeah, we were spreading.
And it was like, dang, this is actually, man,
It's
it's
fun.
fun again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't got to doing this in a long time.
Yep.
Because we're busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But those other things need to be done.
Oh, yeah.
It's just learning to delegate and learning to trust. It's like, I was just saying that to another guy that I was talking to on the podcast, and the young guys from Michigan, they're wanting to scale, but it's like they also know that they want to apply the best way, and they care so much because it's their name. It's like, I totally get what you're saying, but if you're going to scale, it is that trusting thing. Like, believe that this individual that you hired has the same care that you do. Right? They might not to 100% because they don't own the company, but you can still interview them to hope that they would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Every company goes through it, just like us owning the NuWay. You own Agri Spray. It's like if it's going to scale, we have to trust people to help us do it, because a one-man show is not going to go that far. That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you think that what has to happen for you to not have to go in, or no, that's not the right question, because you could probably not go in and the team can figure it out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and we've got Alex. Alex. He was he's my chief of staff, I guess, basically now. And him and I, think a lot the same way as far as like what needs done, priorities, alignment, and he, like me, wants to get things done, so he really is helping a lot as far as like easing, my mind.
That's awesome.
On, knowing that if I'm not there, I don't have to worry, right? And I can focus on other things now too. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I don't have to go in now, but I like to. I want to.
It's fun. It's just
so
fun.
Much fun.
Like, doggone it. Like, if you would ask me what my work-life balance is, it's not good. It's just because I enjoy working so much. Mm-hmm. Not only do I enjoy flying drones, but I enjoy helping people get a business started. It's like, it's rewarding. And so to go to work, I want to go to work, dude. I'm getting up. I'm like, yeah. And then I pitch myself. And I say it on the videos, on drone day recovery videos and NuWay. It's like, I get paid to do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
Isn't
and
it?
there's more and more people that can say that same thing, that are custom applicators because of a drone that flies across fields at 10 feet. It is nuts. So what does Taylor like doing for fun?
I don't know. For fun, you mean like when I'm not, basically what did I do whenever I'm not
what kind of
doing
hobbies
drone
do you
stuff,
have?
right? Yeah. So I don't play any sports. I don't golf.
Have you ever?
I don't.
Have you ever played sports?
Yeah, I was good at football. I was first team All-State.
Doggone.
First team All-Decade.
Okay, so he's really good.
Yeah.
Is it your long legs? You could run fast?
No, I was a lineman, actually. I was left tackle.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have guessed that. Would you have guessed that, Lana? No.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking it was your long legs and you were running fast.
No, I was probably not that very fast. I was strong.
Okay.
Yeah, strong. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm not gonna do this for the rest of my life kind of thing, That, and I don't know, I enjoy working more. So when I'm not working, I guess, on drone stuff, we've got, my wife and I have a nonprofit where we make mobility devices for children with disabilities. My oldest son has spina bifida, and we created a couple of different mobility devices for him, a little wheelchair.
Let's get into that. That's so cool. Because when you shared this, like, I think it's just so cool. So your son can't walk, right? And so can you tell us the story of where you were like, where's my son at? And then he was gone.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I created we called it the Frog. It was a little crawling device, and it was really unique to him. I didn't know it was that unique. I just made it for him kind of thing. And so we created it for him, and it took him a while to kind of get the hang of it, and be able to kind of move around a little bit. But he was about 1.5 years, I guess, at the time. But he was, after a while, he was able to kind of move around the living room, go over his toy pile, and kind of, do things he wanted to do. It was pretty cool. And so, there was one night he was in it, and my wife and I were in the kitchen. She turns around and he's gone. He's not in the living room. And we were so used to him like being where we put him. Most kids that age, they're crawling around the house. We were used to him, being where we put him. He was gone, and she freaked out and ran through the house.
It's not cool that he was gone, but it's like, now he's.
Well, it's like, okay, where's he gonna go? All right, we're on a 1-story house, so it's not like he can go anywhere crazy. But so she ran through the house, and he was in his room tearing apart his humidifier, getting into trouble, And so it's like a moment of like epiphany of like, holy cow, this is like the first time like this has happened, for him.
That's so cool.
And so once that happened, we were like, all right, we got to make these for other kids. Like, how do we find these kids?
Yeah.
How do we? That's when we launched a nonprofit through the help of our physical therapist for our son. She was awesome, and started getting the word out. Created GoFundMe, raised some money, kind of thing. Wanted to give these out for free, to kids.
Yeah.
And keep them low cost, anyways. If we couldn't do that, and ended up snowballing. Got on World News Tonight, and
wow,
yeah, we raised $150,000. And
whoa,
like over the
awesome.
weekend,
Whoa,
like that.
Come on.
Then they had us on again 2 weeks after that, and it was another $50,000 that we raised. We're like, holy cow, I did not expect this.
Wow.
And then a bunch of families learned about it, which is the best part. And so all of a sudden we had like 200 families wanting, a frog for their child or for the physical
and you
therapy.
were personally making these off of like a 3D printer or what?
Yeah. So
so your son, is it like a lower body?
Yeah. So spina bifida, it's a malformation of the spinal column or cord, and it affects every child differently. For him, it's basically from the chest down, he's paralyzed. So he has no mobility, no motor function, from the chest down.
And he was born like that.
He was born that way. Yep.
And was that something that you knew right away?
We found out at the 20-week ultrasound.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was.
Is that something that gets worse over time, or does it just stay the same?
It's different for every kid.
Okay.
It's different for every kid. So there are some things that can get worse, some things that can get better. He was part of a research study when he was 6 months old. We started doing a spinal electrical stimulation, basically like let's put those pads like on your muscle, and it, it was kind of like that, only with like a different electrical signal. So he's part of a study, and basically to kind of like send signals through his nervous system to kind of help regain function, hopefully. And had some, there was some success, but like ultimately it didn't really like help him too much. But because of him started doing that and figuring it out, other kids have now started doing it. And now our physical therapist, she does that full time. And there's been children who have regained sensation in their toes, who have regained continence, through this.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been pretty cool to kind of see.
That's awesome.
Part of her journey.
So you raised a bunch of money because you were on this, was it a TV show or like a news channel?
Yeah, World News Tonight.
Okay.
I don't watch it, but it's on ABC.
So, sorry, I interrupted you. Did you make the frog personally on a 3D printer?
So I made the frog. First frog was made out of like old hardwood flooring. And I just kind of like cobbled it together, But then I learned
Dude, I want to look this up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm
okay,
Googling
yeah,
it right
you
now.
look it up.
Go to our Facebook. Yeah, so Frog Mobility. Search that on Facebook, and you'll find us. And I think if you scroll down a little bit, she put some retro posts out there, like the first frog, and you can see some of the other kids, like in the other devices.
So
that's us there. Yeah, so there's my little girls in the,
okay.
and
That's
that's
really
the GoPro. GoPro's for Go Brody, my son.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
So it kind of looks like, for the listeners, it kind of looks like a little wheelchair, but it's not a wheelchair. It is.
That is essentially a wheelchair. She just put stuff on here with our kids, so that's just at the playground. There's the GoPro. So
Oh,
it is
that looks so
a
cool.
wheelchair, and it's made for toddlers, basically from 1 year.
And up to this point, there was never anything made like that. Huh?
So there are some little wheelchairs. Like the frog is very unique. The frog is a crawling device. There's few of the frogs on there. Maybe just keep scrolling down, you'll find them. The frog is very unique. It's a crawling device specifically for children who don't have lower mobility, right? And when I say children, I mean like babies, basically. So when does a child learn to crawl? They start.
Mine is just now army crawling, and he's 8 months.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about 8 month time frame is when so it's designed to basically be, small enough and lightweight enough, and it mimics crawling in a way where, children.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the very first one.
No way.
That's the very first
really...
frog. Yeah, it has hardwood flooring and old kid toy wheels.
No way. Okay,
That
so
is cool.
that frog there that we're looking at would allow them to kind of lay down.
Yeah, they lay down, and then but it has big wheels in the middle that carry
most of the body weight.
Yeah, about 50 to you can actually adjust it 50 to 70% of body weight or so. So it's just like crawling, where you're carrying your weight with your arms on the front, and then you kind of move yourself up and down with it. So kids who can't crawl won't be able to crawl. Now they can at the same time frame that they would have been able to. And so like for psychological development and just intellectual development of a child, being able to move around is extremely important.
Dude, that's
really
so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started that,
Mm-hmm.
and so that you would say that's a hobby. It's just getting.
That's what I do whenever I'm not doing this. Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No camping. You don't go camping.
Nah. We don't go camping.
Going skiing on
Horseback
water.
riding.
No, I used to have a dirt bike, but I don't do that much anymore. Yeah.
You sound like me.
Yeah.
A guy asked me, what do you do for a hobby? And I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
What is that?
No, I used to. I had this. I had this because I haven't used it in that long of time. I have an ultralight, and I used to just go cruising. Like, it's like a go-kart with wings. And he asked me that, and I was like, doggone it. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's fine. I mean, you love what you do, don't you?
Yeah,
so if you love what you do, then
fun.
why do you need a hobby?
It's work is a hobby, basically.
Yeah.
At this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Hobbies are for people.
There's days where it's not a hobby, but a lot of days it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. It depends how you want to look at it. My wife would want me to maybe have a hobby with her where we go play softball or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could do that.
Your wife doesn't have hobbies either?
How old are your kids?
Almost 8, 5, and 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
34.
Yeah, he's our age. Well,
No
you're
way.
young.
Dude, I thought for some reason I figured you're in your 40s. I don't know why.
I look old, huh?
Not necessarily. I don't know. You're very
the past 2 years have been pretty rough, guys. Let's be honest. Done a lot in the old face. The moneymaker.
No, I don't know. It's not that you look old. You're a very successful guy. I don't know.
Did you ever start a business that failed?
Yes, I did. I forgot about it, and I don't know if I actually started it, but had an idea for when I was broke, all through college and whatnot. I'd pay my own way through school, and so I never had any money. And so I finally made a little money selling some seed, and I'm like, oh, cool. I kind of like this whole business thing. Maybe I'll start one. I was like, there's, farmers using the internet, whatnot. So I started got a developer to make a website and stuff and pull some data in from different sources to make like a single source of truth for test plot research data for different seed varieties and whatnot. It's called YieldPlot, yieldplot.com. And
sounds very complicated.
Yeah, never did it. So it was made, just never really did anything with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you go to college for?
Agriculture, business management, and ag system, ag engineering.
Would you say that college helped you with the business that you have now?
To some degree.
Okay.
To some degree.
Could you have done it without it?
Well, no, because I would not have had the connections. I like the people that I would have met. I would not have worked for the farm that I worked for. Right?
Okay.
And worked as hard as I worked for the farmer, because I had to, and I would not have learned as much about agriculture. And a lot of it was outside of the farm.
Did you grow up on a farm?
I did. I grew up on a dairy farm. But it's different whenever it's like your family's farm, and it's just like, well, we just have, we go milk the cows because we have to milk the cows, like, right now we go, feed the hay because we have to feed the hay. It's different whenever like you want to, because you're earning, a paycheck, and like you're kind of learning something new as well. Then it's like, it sparks something in you, kind of thing. Yeah.
That's cool. That's about all I got. I mean, I feel like we could sit here for a while but man, I appreciate you sharing so much and laying it out there.
You bet.
Being on. What are some exciting things that are coming that you'd like to share?
Well, there's a lot of exciting stuff. I mean, this 2025 is going to be a wild year for this industry.
It definitely feels like we just entered into a rodeo ring.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of new cows and calves, and they don't really know how it's all going to work.
Some clowns.
Yeah,
a lot of clowns.
Dude, that was a perfect example.
That's great.
I didn't even think of that. But, because the industry is kind of getting shook up with the whole DJI ban thing.
It is. Yeah.
Dude, okay, how many of these drones do you think would have came in if DJI would have not been slowed down? All these other ones that
all these drones would have came in. But to what level?
Not to the recognition that they have.
They would not have gotten the recognition that they have for sure. Yeah.
I believe that, because in China, it's not just DJI, it's not just XAG. They have a lot of other ones as well.
DJI and XAG own majority of the market for sure, but the market's so big in China that there is room for others. And so now the market here, it's a confluence of things. Market's growing, right? More and more people, just like we said. There's a demand is outstripping supply, and now you have the DJI issue going on. So it's just there's
much different.
Opportunity for new things. We're going to see more new things now than we ever this year than we ever have, I think, because people want to innovate, people want to be first, people want to make their products the best, and so that's exactly what we're trying to do with Agri Spray Drones. I'm excited for this year.
Yeah,
really excited.
What about 2026? Do you think it'll get itself figured out in 1 year?
Who knows? I don't want to speculate.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to speculate. I hope so. Right?
Why not? Why don't you want to speculate, Taylor?
Well, because several reasons, right?
Okay.
We don't know. I mean, it's out of our control. It really is. Like we think, we have this big voice, part of the ASDC and whatnot, and talking to legislators, whatnot. But I don't know that our voice is that big, frankly. We're a niche within a niche.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't want to speculate about anything. I hope farmers have the access to the best technology, right? That's what I hope. I hope everybody has access to the best technology that's out there, and freedom of choice. Freedom of choice is great.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is best for the end user. So
what if it's freedom of choice of only U.S. made drones? Would you be okay with that?
Well, it depends how many different U.S. made drones there were, right?
No, like no more China drones.
Yeah, that would be a problem. If that happened today, that would be a major problem.
It would be. I mean, there is just no. Is there a good U.S. drone that you know of? Doesn't matter the price. Is there just a good drone that can go apply product?
Not that I mean, okay. Good is defined differently by everyone.
Yep.
Right? Okay. But is there one that competes, right, with China-built drones? No, there is not.
Not even close.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Might be getting closer. But then the other question too is like scalability on making these things. We're talking they can make a couple hundred a year. What?
Yeah, that's why I don't know if I brought it up in this podcast. I've done a couple of these now today, but it's like I feel like if that's going to happen, we need a billionaire to get into it.
Yeah,
it needs to be a billionaire, because like just tens of millions doesn't do it. Like look at Helio. They've tried raising how much money already, and they're still so far behind, and they had millions.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to see that necessarily. All China drones get stopped, and let's have a billionaire step up the plate, because this is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Well, it can't be like a light switch, right? I mean, I want U.S. manufacturing, right? That's the whole reason that we do this at Agri Spray Drones is to create more jobs. You said it yourself. You love seeing people start a business, and have jobs and use these drones and do that. So U.S. manufactured drones would do more of that, right? Yeah. And so if we had, a lot of U.S. manufacturing, that means more jobs for more Americans, right? And
we need them. Like
we do.
We actually
need them. Yeah, we do. We need them. So I want that. I think everybody wants that.
I think so too. I think pretty much everybody wants that.
Yeah. But it can't be like a light switch. We can't just say, all right, we're done with Chinese drones. Go figure it out now. Like you have to kind of develop that.
Why did they develop it before we did?
Yeah. So why did China develop these spray drones before we did? Well, it was product market fit, right? When you boil it down to a simple, like, why product market fit. So in China, you've got very small farms. We're talking family farms, 20 acres or less, right? In a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But they're also applying the same type of chemistry that we're applying here with insecticides, fungicides, whatnot, but it's by hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Farmers don't have access to the capital that we have access to here. They don't have the machinery that we had access to. They're kind of developing that now, right? So, 10 years ago, right, or a bit longer, whenever the first spray drones were made, they were made in China because China had a need for it on farms to improve efficiency and safety, and B, they also had the manufacturing capability for drones to make them, and so we're talking very small drones like that Fox-Tech, or even smaller than that, and that increased efficiency so much and safety so much that the Chinese government actually subsidized the purchase of drones, spray drones.
I was wondering if you're going to bring that up because people don't know that. I didn't know that until a China drone manufacturer approached me. Yeah. Actually, randomly showed up at a demo, and he's like, "I manufacture drones. Like, do you want to do something?" I'm like, wait. And so I got into that. That's good that you're bringing that up. So they actually got paid, like the government paid the Chinese farmers, right? If they used spray drones or bought spray drones. How was it?
Yeah, so I believe it was farmers were basically given money, to go buy a spray drone. And so you might as well just give it to the manufacturer, right? Because it's, it increases demand so much. They know there's going to be X amount of demand, right? And so they build out the manufacturing capabilities to supply the demand.
Do you think that the government should do that here?
I mean, I don't think there's a need to do that.
Yeah,
it would be mayhem.
There's no need to do that.
If they would and stop all the flow from China, now the billionaire knows that it's going to happen because there's subsidies.
I think it's kind of inverse here in the U.S. really. I mean, because farmers have access to capital. That's not the.
I did hear they're getting some checks now.
Yeah. Well,
did you hear that? Yeah. There's some type of a program going on that Trump did. I don't know. Was it because of the low commodity prices? And stuff?
Okay. Oh, that. Yeah. That's always happening. There's always subsidy checks and whatnot, and crop insurance is subsidized. So U.S. agriculture is pretty heavily subsidized, and there's a big reason for it because we don't want farmers to go out of business and then farmland not be farmed. Right. That's a problem for our food supply. Yeah. And for the economy, frankly, want to be food independent, kind of thing. And so, agriculture is pretty heavily subsidized for that.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's history with World War II and how that all, like, why that's there because of it. But I don't think farmers need to be subsidized necessarily to buy these drones here in the U.S.
Yeah. No, there's a huge need for it. People would buy it.
Manufacturing should be subsidized, I think.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, the whole
if you start
the CHIPS Act, to make more chips here.
Yeah,
computer chips.
Yeah.
Have you approached any senators? Would you subsidize me if I start a manufacturer?
We talked to the governor of Missouri 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they all want the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's like there's also, federal funding is kind of being cut a little bit too. There are programs out there.
It's being doged.
Yeah. There's programs out there that will assist though.
That's cool. Doggone. I feel like we could go all night, but you know what? We're just gonna we're gonna wrap it up. We're in this building. It feels like we should probably move.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna thanks so much, Taylor, for coming on and sharing, being open and going through it with your growth and being open. I had fun.
Well, thanks for having an objective, Mike.
What was my objective? Oh shit! What was it? I didn't even get it.
You didn't do your objective.
I didn't have an objective.
Okay.
I'm not getting a joke. Tell me the joke.
Well, we talked about what the objective, what that means and whatnot.
But I didn't have an objective.
I know. Yeah.
Did you say that's?
I said thanks for not having an objective.
Oh, I thought you said thanks for having an objective. I was like, I don't think you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Well, that's all we got for you guys.
All right. Thanks.